Welcome back, everyone. We are the 12-Sided Guys. We have Matt as Pine.
Hi.
Scott as Joff.
That's me.
Jordan as Ebby.
Salutations.
Sabrina as Nari.
Hey there.
And me, Paul, as the guy who recently finished a binge listen to this very podcast. And now I'm worried. If I really enjoyed the podcast, does that make me a narcissist? Anyway, we're glad that you are enjoying the podcast enough to make it this far. Consider becoming a patron for some extra content and to help feed our insatiable Papa Murphy's pizza habit by going to patreon.com/12sided guys. That's 12sided guys. Also, reviews and ratings really help us be seen, so go out there and give us a 5-star review and maybe say a couple of words about how much you're enjoying the podcast. And if you were jealous of your friends with parents that actually let them call the Nintendo Power Game Counselor hotline, then this podcast is for you. It's the Crystal Codex, episode 28.
My parents let me do it like twice.
I only remember the one time.
I had a subscription to Nintendo Power. Again, that's a big flex. I know. We've commented on this before, Sabrina.
I had one too as a kid.
But I also called in once because there was this game that had this very specific, let's just say that no kid would have ever figured it out without the help of a Nintendo playing professional.
Yeah, it was Paladin's Quest, right?
Yeah, Paladin's Quest, yeah.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I wanted to work there.
I think every kid wanted to work there.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Open up! We don't want to have to break this door down. The voice is muffled as it passes through the thick mahogany door on the second floor of the posh restaurant, The High Side. Nilla pulls a shirt over her head before she realizes that it isn't hers, it fitting like a dress over her slight frame. She glances over at the lean, red-skinned man standing naked next to the bed, a look of confusion on his face as he turns from Nilla to the door and back again. What's going on, milady? Bortimus asks in his slight Calathese accent. I don't know, Nilla manages to stammer as fear grips her like a vice. But she knows. She knows all too well why Imperial soldiers would come pounding on her door in the dead of the night looking for her. Rose Syndicate. She knew when she agreed to help gather intelligence for the Resistance that this day would come, but she never expected this day would be today. The voice behind the door addresses someone else for a brief moment. No good. Break it down. Before addressing Nilla again. Nilla Vinter, you are hereby under arrest on the charges of aiding and abetting the resistance group Fallen Heaven. Your refusal to open this door will be taken as testimony against you, and the charge of treason will be passed upon you. This is your last chance. Bortimus's eyes go wide. Is what he says true, my lady? Bortimus asks. Nilla swallows hard, tears leaking from the corners of her eyes, and nods. Bortimus stands still, his body unmoving but his mind racing. Then, after what seems to Nilla an eternity, Bortimus nods in turn, strides over to his belongings stacked in the corner, and finds his sword. The blade comes free of the scabbard, and Bortimus turns to face Nilla. Panic sets in. She is unsure of what will happen next. Will he turn me in? Will he kill me? A sudden giggle escapes her at the absurdity of it all. How silly, a naked man with a naked blade. Bortimus walks toward her, reaching her in 3 quick strides. Nilla crumples to the floor and hides her eyes behind her hands, waiting for the sharp sting of the blade across her neck and shoulders. Instead, she feels a warm touch on her left shoulder. My lady, fear not. I can see that you are no warrior. Stay behind me and I will see you clear of this place. I fear leaping from the window would only maim us and make us easier prey, so I will make a stand here and, on my honor as a knight of the Order of the Red Blossom, I will see you safely away from here. Nilla opens her eyes and sees her red champion smiling down on her. The thumping resumes on the door, louder now. A boot instead of a fist, Nilla has time to think, before she scurries into the corner behind the bed and begins to whisper a prayer to any lord or lady that might be listening. But in the back of her mind, she has another thought, unbidden. How fitting. A knight of the red blossom and a rose. Well, a wilted rose at this point, but even a wilted rose has thorns.
Well, now I feel really bad about Nilla, though. Now I feel bad.
Now, I'm trying to remember who she was.
She's my friend.
Okay.
Well, Nari, though, think about this. Would Ember have had somebody to protect her had you gone for Nilla instead?
That's true. She is in a much less classy place. There's no knights going. Yeah.
No sworn knight in her bed. And even if he had been, he probably would have been tied up and unable to help.
I was going to say, there were plenty of nights filled with swearing, I think. Is
yeah. Not a sworn knight, but knights of swearing.
Yes. Lacking the K,
All right, so here's where we're at. If you guys recall, last time we got together, there were some shenanigans with trying to find the Wilted Rose, this secret Rose Syndicate group. You followed some clues that led you out of Everly Park and back into the streets. After winding around following different symbols of a rose with arrows pointing in different directions, you finally found one pointing to a cellar door. After you went into the cellar door, you found a puzzle to solve.
No, we nailed that puzzle.
You're darn right we did. Boom.
Crushed it.
After solving a puzzle that opened up another door into the further depths beneath the city and down into the catacombs that webbed their way all the way underneath the city of Arcolvi. After a brief skirmish with some zombies and some whites and a really...
a stinky boy.
Stinky zombie. Yeah, you guys were able to solve one last puzzle in this the Tomb of the 10 Maidens, where you had to find one sarcophagus that was labeled Opal. And when you pushed her name, a door opened up, and back behind there was a secret room, and you had discovered the Wilted Rose. Not long after that, you realized that the Wilted Rose is actually Nilla, who was a member of the Rose Syndicate, along with Nari, who you had some relationship before everything went down in Arcolvi a few months ago. But now Nilla has been living in hiding, trying to bring down the Empire, as well as the former leader, Aaliyah Brava, who she claims is the one who betrayed the Rose Syndicate 2 months ago. Alongside Nilla are two other people. There is Bordemus, the red-skinned horned knight, and there is a blue-skinned kind of fishy guy who you have not actually been introduced to yet, but that is pretty much the extent of the, quote, fighting forces of the Wilted Rose. And I believe the last thing that happened was you had discussed ways in and out of the tomb or out of the secret hideout when Pine realized that Aaliyah Brava could have killed Nari, but instead let her go. And there is a very good chance that maybe Aaliyah Brava has been following Nari. And that's where we're at. That realization just happened.
Now, remind me, did Nilla give us any wafers to snack on?
Hi-yo.
So, no. Okay, so my naming scheme, only Scott, because you brought this up, my naming scheme with Nilla, she is slight, she is short, she is a waif. She is Nilla Waif.
Oh my god, get out!
I don't think we can play in your game anymore. I speak for all of us.
I was gonna say, at least she's a waif, but at least she's not a waifu.
Or is it uwu?
Ooh.
All right, well, here you guys are. That realization just happened. You are in this room. The room has a table in it. It's got a candle lit on the tabletop. There is a red lantern in here, kind of giving off a red glow. In this room, this small room, there's also a hallway going north and a hallway going south. And Nilla had just told you that there are two other ways into this room. One goes up into a tailor shop, and one goes down further into the catacombs.
So Pine, despite kind of this tense situation, he is still kind of like trying to like stifle a little bit of a giggle and a smile because he is so excited about all these secret doors that we've been finding.
So Bordemus kind of steps forward after Pine has this realization, and he says, "Wait, are you saying that you were followed here?"
We didn't see any signs of being followed, but Nari was potentially ensorcelled, and we can never be sure with magic. It's like these damn crystals. Never quite understand how they work.
Aaliyah Brava is no fool. She had me in her clutches, so there's a reason she let me go.
Do you have any lookouts or anyone posted to provide watch?
no, this is all there is. We are the Wilted Rose at this point. We have people in town who are sympathetic, people in town who will, lend us their aid in whatever small way they can. But this is it. We don't have the manpower for a lookout. We hoped our puzzles and our secret doors would keep danger at bay as long as possible.
Well, speaking of secret doors, is there a way that you can completely seal off the entrance we just came through?
He looks over to the western or to the eastern wall. So you guys came into the western wall of this little room. The east wall has a lever on it, and he kind of motions to the lever, and he says, "Well, this will open it from our side, but I mean, to lock it, we'd have to maybe break the mechanism, and then again, that might not keep the door shut anyway." Its power is in its secrecy, is in its ability to be hidden, not in its actual strength.
Well, this is not a good place for us to be caught if they are on our trail. Ebby, I know that in the last fight you were hit pretty hard and significantly. Is there anything I can do for you? And I'm offering to give you some of my commander's morale.
Oh, that is very kind. I think hold off on any of that aid for the time being. I'm doing fine as it is at the moment, but we may yet need that when the situation, if it becomes more dire.
Okay, well then Pine will kind of talk up himself and kind of pat it pat his own chest and like okay, well, we got this, and I'm going to go ahead and use 10 of my commander's morale on myself.
Okay, I want, just for fun, Joff and Ebby and Pine all to make perception checks. Nari, you do not get to make them.
Aw, man.
Yeah, you'll find out.
Joff rolled a 19 on his perception.
Ebby rolled a 20.
And bringing up the rear, Pine got an 11.
Okay, well, Joff, I heard your 19 and I thought, that's so close, but not quite good enough. Ebby, with your 20, as you're standing there talking and discussing, you glance over something about the bright or the red light of this red candle shining over. You catch just a little hint in Nari, her hair. It looks like there's just a little chunk of hair that is missing from Nari's head, kind of off the back. Like her sweet do that she normally has a little bit of it's a little piece missing.
Nari? I almost called her Harry. Harry Potter.
Not so hairy.
Harry Potter.
You're a wizard. Anyway, Nari, have you recently done something with your hair? I mean, I don't want to cause any offense, but it looks like you have like a bald spot on the back there.
Nari will kind of put her hand on the back of her head and feel around. No, I haven't done anything with my hair at all.
You can feel that it's not a bald spot per se, but it's just like where the hair is a little bit longer. You can feel there's a chunk that's not quite as long. And it looks probably about the width of like your finger. That much hair has been kind of trimmed back a bit.
Oh no.
I mean, it's slight. It's just a section that's missing.
Don't sugarcoat it, Ebby. She's a monster. They messed up her sweet fade.
I can tell you I'm going to be speaking to the manager about this one.
You guys can make Arcana checks if you would like to.
I'll make an Arcana check.
Yeah, Ebby will too. Let's try this.
Pine rolled another 11.
Joff got a 3.
Ebby rolled a 9.
And Nari rolled a nat 20.
What? Natural 20. Okay, so here's what we'll say, Nari. As you are sitting there kind of feeling your hair, you don't know how you know this, but you're just somewhere along the line, you gleaned some information that if somebody has a part of your body, like nail clippings or some of your blood or maybe a lock of your hair, it makes it a lot easier to be tracked magically.
I'll kind of relay that to the group and say that Aaliyah Brava is probably using my hair to track me. I'm not quite sure what we can do to stop her.
Would we know? So I don't want to metagame. Matt knows specifics of spells. Would we know about effective distance for some of these spells?
With your Arcana check of what, 9? Is that what you got?
I had an 11.
An 11.
Double digits.
You know that some spells work better than others. Some have long distance and some are very, very short. As far as the actual usage of like Arcana, that kind of thing, you would not know.
Okay.
Well, the longer we're here, the more danger we're in if she's tracking us. I say we make a break for it. Up or down? We know where she is, though. We know where she's staying.
Nari, before you guys do anything else, I need you to make a wisdom save.
I rolled an 8.
Thank you for making that roll. Okay. Continue, Pine.
Just saying, we know where she is. We know that she's staying at the house.
Paul, remind me where we found out she was staying.
She's staying at Eberly Manor. That's where Nilla said she was staying.
Oh, so she's like right by where we were just at.
Yeah.
Well, even if we know where she is, what good would the 5 of us be able to do?
If we could get away, if we could confront her somewhere neutral or when she's least expecting it, that's an option. Or, hear me out, we could venture further in. See if we can't hollow out a place for us to set a trap for her if she sends somebody or comes herself.
We could make it look like we went that way.
I mean, that won't help much if she's got a lock of my hair. I'm down to shave it off, but I don't think that'll help.
Do we want to risk fighting more of those stinky boys? Or should we find a more equitable place to fight?
Nilla speaks up and she says, well, we can go up through the tailor's shop, but I'm fairly certain that if we take that route, then it will be lost to us forever after this. And I really don't want any harm to come to the kind folks up there.
Was there another way out of the chamber of the 10 maidens? The tomb of the there. Yes, where all the dead chicks are.
Thank you for reminding me. That's something that actually I forgot to mention in our last episode when I was describing the room. Lighting was kind of a big deal. You guys couldn't see that far. But as you were exploring the room, you guys came in on the south side of that room that had the 10 sarcophagi in it. And on the north end, there was another set of stairs going down. So there is another exit out of that room that you would already have known that I just failed to mention last time.
I have an idea. What if Nari stands in the middle of the room waiting and we can hide to ambush them as they enter?
That seems like that might work.
I'm concerned that any plans we make with Nari present could be overheard.
Actually, no, I got an 11. Sorry.
You did get an 11.
Yeah, I'm trying to play without thinking about that too.
That's a fair point, though. I mean, I can definitely walk into the other room while y'all discuss and figure it out from there.
Why would you need to do that again?
In case she's able to scry on me and hear what I'm saying, hear through my ears and see through my eyes.
Whoa, that can be done.
I don't know a lot about magic, but I mean, it seems like something that could be done.
Well, that's fascinating. That's downright dastardly, too.
Should we put on a dance party if she can see through your eyes? Give her a little show?
So Pine starts to do like some hip thrusts.
I thought you were going to do the ham bone.
He will start the ham bone too.
Ebby's doing the robot. For sure.
All right, as you guys are talking, now before anything else can happen, you all are aware enough that suddenly this door behind you that you came in through, it opens. And you can see back into the room where you were of the Tomb of the 10 Maidens. It looks like from where things are situated, it looks like Ebby has the best view. And Ebby, looking back in, you can see there's light now coming from that tomb, that large space where you fought the the whites and the zombie and the skeleton. And you can make out two figures standing there, as well as just kind of the edge of the third. It looks like they're kind of tucked back and in hiding. The two that you can make out are looking ahead they're looking straight into the room where you guys are. One of them is short. He's got like a thick beard. He's wearing heavy armor. He's got a shield, and it looks like he keeps kind of touching his breastplate every few seconds. The other one standing behind him is a lean fellow with long brown hair. He's got like some tattoos on his face, a little different than maybe what Nari's mountain tribe people would have. This is more colored. It's got like a blue color to it. And he has a bow, and he is aiming an arrow straight at Ebby, but he is not firing. And after the door opens, you hear a voice, and the voice calls out, "All right, send out the wilted rose. You're better off surrendering."
Well, guys, it looks like the party has arrived.
Nari is going to kind of step in front of Ebby and say, I'm here.
Okay, Ebby or Nari, let's see. You can see the same thing. Actually, just with your vision, there's a lot of more shadow. Ebby can see better out this area. You can't make out the armored fellow because there's a big shadow, but you can see back standing in the light this thin man with a bow aimed right at you. And then you hear a voice calling out from the shadows to the north. He calls out, "No, you're not the one we're looking for, but you better surrender too."
Paul?
Yes.
I have a red candle.
Yes.
Do ya?
You sure do.
Your red candle is here floating in the room right now.
And right now, my red candle is doing the spell light.
Yes.
I am wondering, if I were to do the spell daylight in here, would it backlight people enough that they wouldn't have a clear shot?
I see. You're hoping to like blind them
Yes.
for a second?
Uh-huh.
Well, I tell you what, that's a great idea. And we can make a constitution save for this guy, anybody who is maybe going to make a move. And we'll say, because it's a great idea and I love it, if they fail a constitution save, we'll say constitution save 13. If they fail that save, then they have disadvantage on any attack actions for 1 round.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yes. So what I will do then is I will whisper to Nilla and I'll say,
"When you see the light, make for the tailor shop."
and then I'm going to have the candle do daylight.
Okay.
And right now the candle is kind of positioned toward the back of the room, so it should I would move it to the front so that it would kind of shine out and maybe make it harder to see. Well, no, or should I leave it back behind? I think the backlight thing, I don't know, man. I don't know enough about light. It's weird because I use it every day.
We're going to say that this has to happen soon. So where are you going to put it?
Yeah. I'm just going to keep it where it's at. Try to kind of just, so that way none of my allies are facing it, but the other guys are all facing it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Then the red candle flashes and flares super bright. How long does the daylight last?
Daylight is 1 hour.
1 hour.
And it's not concentration.
Okay. All right. Suddenly, this bright light comes emitting from this red candle.
No, that can't be right. Yeah, 1 hour.
Yeah. Daylight's a powerful spell. It's great to use against like vampires and stuff. Okay. Light emits from this red candle. It bathes you guys in its light. And now, Nari, you can make out in the glow of this light, you can make out a couple more figures out in the shadows.
I like making out in the glow of the light.
you can make out in the shadows. What I need
as soon as the light flares up, everybody sees your hair really clearly, and they're like, "Oh man, you got to get that fixed, girl."
I can't believe we didn't notice until just now.
Let's have everybody roll initiative.
All right, Nari rolled a 19.
Paul,
Yeah.
I'm looking at your initiative tracker, and it's very intimidating.
Yeah, that initiative tracker is pretty long.
Yes, it is.
So Pine rolled a natural 20 for a 24.
Nice.
And Ebby rolled a 4. So kind of like we're twinsies, right?
Yeah.
I had an idea, but now I can't say it until my turn.
Which will be at what initiative, Joff?
Joff rolled a 15.
All right. This is going to be a crazy thing because there are so many different, unique people.
We're going to need backgrounds and motivations for all of these people.
Oh, I've got names. At least I've got names.
I'm just teasing you.
Okay,
He's only going to give background for the people we killed to make us feel bad.
All right, here we go. I have all the initiatives in.
I forgot to describe one thing about when I cast daylight, okay?
Okay.
This red candle, this big flame about the size of a person, goes out about 5 feet, burns for a little bit, and then everything lights up, and then the flame goes away.
And then you hear it. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah.
Oh. It burns away a bush and you find another secret passage.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So looking at the initiative tracker, it looks like Pine, you are up first.
Okay, well, I just did my thing, but that's awesome. So can I point to Bortimus across the way and to the blue person that we have never got their name yet?
Okay.
And I'm just going to say, take her and go, kind of like a stage whisper so they can't hear me out there.
Okay.
And then Pine is going to leap over a table in the middle of the room and come over here so that he's flanking the passage right next to Nari, so that he has cover. Nobody can really see him, and he can't see anybody else, but he's ready to strike if anybody starts coming through that hallway.
All right. And so are you going to ready an action or anything like that?
Yes, I am. I'm going to ready an attack as soon as I see somebody aggressively coming through that hallway.
Okay.
With my saber.
All right. Very good. Nari, with your 19, go ahead. What are you going to do?
So Nari's going to do a similar thing to Pine, where she pulls out her axe and she kind of readies an action in case someone, comes close to her. But she's just going to shout out, "Hey, we don't want any trouble. Back off a little bit. What do you guys want?"
Okay. And then you hear a female voice call back with an accent. She says, "We want you to surrender. Drop your weapons and come on out."
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, so then this person is going to, you can't tell what's going on, but there's some movement in the dark. Maybe. And then it is now going to be the blue guy's turn. The blue guy looks at Bortimus and he says, "I can get her out of here. I can get her out of here and safe." And then Bortimus nods. And then the blue guy, he runs down to Nilla, and he grabs her around the waist, and he looks back at you guys. He says, "I'm sorry. I'm not a fighter." And then he does some motion with his hands, and there is like a big, almost like he touches the air in front of him, and it ripples out like water. He grabs Nilla, and he leaps through it, and then they are both gone. And there goes two of your allies. All right. This guy with the bow, he is going to take a shot. He is blinded, so he is going to take a couple of shots at Nari. Let's see if he can hit you, Nari, since you are the clear target. So the first shot is going to be definitely a miss. I believe that is a 10. That misses. The second shot is going to be that's not good either. That's a 13.
Neither of those hit.
Yeah, two arrows go wide. And that brings us now to Joff.
All right. Joff is going to poke his head around the corner and kind of glance into the room, not stepping through Nari, but just to kind of get a better look at it.
Yeah.
And he's going to say, "This was a private engagement." And then he's going to flip the switch to close the door, and I'm going to try my hardest to break it closed.
Okay, so the switch is over on the other end of the room. So you peek in there, you say your line, and you go over to grab the lever. So you can easily flip it to close the door. Now you're going to try to break it. I need a strength check.
I'm not very good at this, but perhaps my ancestor spirit will give me a little bit of a hand.
I thought rogues were pretty much good at everything.
I rolled a 12, but wait. So I'm gonna kind of look around and say, hey, Squire, give me a hand on this one.
Okay.
And I rolled an 8, so that puts it to a 20 to try and break the mechanism.
Let me see. As you grab that lever and you start pulling on it as hard as you can, suddenly Squire appears with his beret and his pageboy haircut, and he kind of you can hear his voice, but you just hear this like, "Oh, we're doing this now?" And he puts his hands on yours, and you don't feel any like actual like physical strength, but somehow like his presence, it like you don't feel his power. You feel more like you have more power, if that makes any sense. There's like a psychic strength to you that you then are able to break that lever, and the lever actually comes off in your hands with your total of 20.
Awesome.
Anything else you want to do, or is that your whole turn?
I'm going to look at the group and say, sorry, not willing to die for this yet.
Well, that will bring us then to Nilla, who is gone. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 people who you don't know what they're doing. And then we have Bortimus. He says, well, that should buy us some time. So which way, up or down? And then that brings us to one more person. And last but not least, we have Ebby.
I don't relish the idea of going deeper down underground, but if they're less likely to follow us, we could try that. Would it be possible to lose them up on the streets?
Anything's possible.
Yeah, I'm just directing that to the whole group.
I don't know if we have time for a big discussion. This is all happening like right now.
Okay, well then we'll go back to the next round. Pine, it is your turn. You heard Ebby ask that question.
My vote is to lead them farther down, see if we can't use some of the obstacles down there to our advantage. By obstacles, I mean rotten flesh creatures that want to eat our brains and everything.
And what are you going to do with your turn?
I'm going to... So was that entrance to the south? We talked about where they were. I'm trying to remember where they were.
The entrance to the south, the hallway to the south is what takes you to the ladder up and the ladder down.
Okay.
They're both over there.
All right. So I'll say to Bortimus, I'll say,
grab any documents or things that you'll need. Nari, help me with this table.
and then Pine is going to go over to the table in the middle of the room, and he will wait to give the help action, basically trying to move the table put it as a barricade in that hall as well. So something else to get in their way.
Okay.
And I'm going to have Nari help me, hopefully, because I probably can't lift it by myself because it's probably solid mahogany. That's a wood.
It is mahogany. How did you know? All right. It is now Nari's turn.
Yeah, Nari will come back with Pine and help him shove that table in front of the door for sure.
Okay. All right. Why don't you make a strength check with advantage?
Oh, man. 16.
16. Oh yeah, you guys get that table. You actually start to slide it. It gets bound up on the carpet, but you manage to push past it, and then you slide the table all the way, wedge it into this little entranceway. So now, if they can get that door open again, there will be a table that they're going to have to contend with, and it also might block the door a little bit as well. So you have a couple of different things now in the way, and that now. Did you want to say anything before it's somebody else's turn? Because the clock is ticking. The people on the outside of this room are doing things.
I mean, I'm going to agree with everyone else and say that we should go downstairs. I think going up to the street just is going to invite soldiers.
Okay. All right. And then that brings us to so is everybody in agreement that you guys want to go south or go down?
I think so.
Matt's not in agreement, but Pine sure thinks that's a good idea.
Yeah, Joff is really concerned about everything happening right now.
Right. Okay. All right. Bortimus says, yes, of course. Let's go. So we are going to leave initiative.
There's one more thing Joff wants to do before we leave this area.
Okay.
So he'll leave last, and I'm going to use, I'm going to lay out the ball bearings in the hallway to the south behind me as I go, so to make it difficult terrain leading up to the ladder.
Okay. All right. Well.
And then Pine will grab his candle as well, which the daylight actually stays in this room, even though I have my candle.
Oh, right. Yeah, the daylight stays with the
it's where I cast the effect.
Yeah.
Before we leave this room, too, Ebby wants to cast a spell in here before we head deeper in.
Okay. Sure. What spell do you want to cast?
I'm going to do conjure animals, and I'm going to conjure 8 giant wolf spiders.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Spider butt rope.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
They unfortunately don't have the web spell ability. I mean, if there were a web, then they have a bunch of benefits to that, but they don't have like the ability to create web. But they do additional poison damage on top of their attacks, and they can stay on the ceilings and the walls and all over the place.
What does that look like when you summon a swarm of 8 giant wolf spiders?
So I imagine as everybody's kind of shuffling their way down the corridor, Ebby kind of backs and makes room, kind of in this space. And then he kind of holds his arms, both of them out to the side, widens his stance, and then kind of plunges his hands down into the ground. And this kind of shockwave of green energy comes out, and then out of the stone comes kind of crawling, like almost like it's being birthed out of the rock, are these kind of wolf spiders made of like stone and rock and earth.
Awesome.
That is so metal.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. As you guys all kind of prepare to leave, Bortimus goes up to the north alcove and he grabs like some sacks of money and a couple of weapons. And then he motions you guys down to the south tunnel. He's like, let's go. And as you guys are leaving, I guess, Ebby, you create these wolf spiders, and then Joff spreads out his ball bearings. And then you see that there's a trapdoor that covers a ladder going down, and there's also a ladder going up, and you can see a trapdoor in the ceiling high up above you. But you go down, and as you go down into what's it called? A chute, I guess, that the ladder goes down. Eventually, it opens out into this small, narrow hallway that just kind of winds a little bit. And then there is a brick wall in front of you. And Bortimus says, after this point, I don't really know my way around here, but I know that this wall moves. This is kind of a hidden entrance to get back into the Chamber of the Wilted Rose. And then he kind of pushes it open. There's no mechanism or anything. It's literally just a false wall that he pushes open. And you guys stumble out into what looks like another tomb. And there are 4 sarcophagi in this room. You see that across the way from where you came in, you guys came in on the western wall. There is actually on the eastern wall, there's a staircase going up. And then on the southern wall, it looks like there's a staircase going back down. And then kind of in the northwest corner, it looks like there's a hallway that goes deeper into these caverns. And you guys are now in this room.
If anything wakes in here and comes after us, see if we can't leave them here to deal with our pursuers. I think that speed should be our concern right now.
Agreed.
Anybody have like a natural good sense of direction?
I believe I do, actually. My Wanderer feat says that I can, let's see, excellent memory for maps and geography. Oh, maybe not.
Well, you kind of just with your twists and turns, I'd say that you'd kind of know generally where you are in relationship to the city above.
And you'd be able to find our way back if we needed to backtrack too.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair.
Yeah, and it looks like, Ebby, as far as where you're at, I mean, yeah, this is a room with 4 sarcophagi in it. There's a staircase going down. You have no idea where that would go to. But the staircase on the eastern wall that kind of goes up, it looks like that's in the direction of Eberly Park. Now, the staircase is not like going up to like a doorway that leads out up above or anything like that. It's just like a staircase that goes up to another part of these tunnels under the city. But it looks like that's in the general direction of Eberly Park.
Got it. Well, why don't we try and head this way? I think this would lead us back towards the park.
It's as good a choice as any. Lead the way. Well, maybe I should lead the way.
Yes, you can lead the way.
Pine will lead the way.
Okay, fine. As you are heading towards those stairs, I just need you to make a quick. What's your passive perception actually?
It's a 13.
13. Okay. So as you approach these stairs, you see that it is a wide, like 10-foot wide staircase, and it heads up into regions unknown. But as you start going up the stairs, talk amongst yourselves.
So, How are things?
It reminds me of the Skyrim crypts, is what I keep thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to fight Draugr down here?
Yeah, exactly.
I keep thinking we're going to have a Goonies moment where we're going to like come up through the fountain in the park.
Guys!
It's our time down here.
It's their time up there.
Thanks for ruining the surprise. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think I've watched the Goonies in over 20 years. It's been a minute.
Nari, you Goonie!
Goonies never say die.
All right. Well, you guys head up these stairs, and you guys climb for quite a ways, probably about 40 or 50 feet, like heading kind of up at like a 45-degree angle, and then you come out into this other kind of tomb-esque room. You can see that in here, this room, it looks like on the north wall. Again, you are entering from the western wall, and the north wall has 3 alcoves for sarcophagi, and the south wall has 2. It looks like at the end of this room, the far east end of the room, there is a hallway heading south. It looks like there's some collapsed walls in here. There's lots of rubble, and you do see in the center of the room, there are some bones, as well as a couple of kind of skeletons, dead bodies that are on the walls. And I want everyone to make perception checks, please.
Pine got a 12.
Joff got a 24.
Nari got a 10.
Ebby also got a 10.
We're twinning.
Hi-oh.
As you guys enter this room, you see these piles of bones, and your first thought, I imagine, is, oh great, these bones are going to start moving and they're going to start attacking us. But Joff, you see something different. It's not that the bones are moving. You see, it looks like some sort of a shape, kind of waving in the wind, I guess you could say, like some kind of like fabric or something in kind of this pile of a fallen wall. And because Joff, you rolled so high on your perception, the specters that appear in the room are not going to get a surprise round on you.
Oh.
As soon as they show up, Pine's like, your food is that way. And he's going to point west.
Okay, so these kind of ghost-like apparitions, they appear in they kind of start coming out of these different piles of bones and out of this fallen rock wall, and you see one that comes out of one of the sarcophagi, and he looks a little bit different, a little more substantial, a little more angry. All right, let's roll initiative again, guys.
Well, Pine didn't do as well this time. He got a 10.
Yeah, neither did Joff.
Yeah, Nari got a 9.
Joff got a 12.
And Ebby got a 6. I don't know that I've ever rolled higher than a 10 for my initiative rolls. Ebby is just a very unprepared, uncoordinated individual. That's all.
Perfect. All right. Well, it looks like it is time to start this encounter. And first to go is this big, nasty, brutal-looking specter. And actually, he's not even a specter at all. He is going to let out a shriek, and you hear this hiss of a voice, and it comes through all of your, less through your ears and more into your brain, and it says,
"Why have you come to disturb our rest?"
And it is going to lash out at Nari.
Not very polite to ask a question and not wait for an answer.
This is true.
All right. No, it is not very polite at all. All right. You are going to be attacked. Let's see. I believe it is only one time. Does an 18 hit you, Nari?
Yes.
18 hits you. Okay, Nari, you are going to take, oh my goodness, 24 damage.
Well, that is not great.
And I need you to make a Constitution save.
All right, I got a nat 20 for 25 on the Constitution save, so that's something.
Okay. Well, congratulations. With your natural 20, you do not lose permanently those 24 hit points. And we'll say, since you actually did roll a natural 20, we'll say that you are immune to this life drain attack for the rest of the day.
So I still lost the 24 points?
You did, but it didn't deduct from your maximum hit points like what happened to Ebby in our last session.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Okay.
That's something.
that is something. All right. Well, let's bring on Joff. It's your turn.
Joff is going to grumble and say, "We weren't trying to disturb your rest. We're trying to make our way through these crypts." And I will step forward and say, "And don't hit my friend." And I will strike at this one with my short sword at the more corporeal specter.
Yeah, the more angry, beefy one.
Yeah, I rolled a 15 to hit.
Okay, a 15 does hit, yes.
Oh, cool. So I got 10 piercing damage and then 12 precision for a total of 22.
And is that a magical weapon?
It is a magical weapon.
Okay. All right.
And then I'm going to bonus action step away.
Disengage. And hide! Run away!
That's right.
All right. Okay, Pine, you are up. You have, I should have described this a little bit better. There are 4 of these lesser specters, and there is this one big mean one, which we'll call a Wraith.
Okay. Pine will say, "Remember, everyone, push through." And actually, Pine is going to take the disengage action.
Okay.
And he is so that he will not draw attacks of opportunity as he weaves through these ghosts. So he'll move. I think he'll be able to, let's see. He'll be able to make it clear back to the back hall, past them.
Okay.
And he's going to basically say, and he's going to turn around and face everybody and say, "Come on, down the hall."
Okay. And that's your turn?
I don't know if it was a good turn, but it was my turn.
You're committed now.
Then Nari, it is your turn.
Okay, well, Nari is going to swing at this guy while saying, like, "Look, we just want to get through here. We don't want to hurt you." But she is still going to swing with her great axe for a 9 to hit
That misses.
and a 10 to hit.
That one actually just goes right through his body. It seems like your axe just can't quite get purchase on his ethereal form.
All right, yikes.
Yeah. Then it's Bortimus's turn. Bortimus draws a long sword, and he's going to step up to this big guy as well, and he's going to take 2 shots with his long sword. So let's see. He rolls a 6 and a 15. So the 15 is going to hit, and the damage that he does is he does 10 damage. And again, it just looks like it just does not do as much damage as you would expect. Okay. It slices through. You can tell that it affected this Wraith, but not any kind of substantial damage. All right. That brings us to Ebby.
Okay. I think Ebby is going to say, "I think Master Pine has the right idea here." And I'm going to try to go ahead and move through here around all of these guys. And then with my bonus action, I'm going to use Erdos's word on Nari and say, "Come on, Nari, let's go." And heal Nari for 8.
Nice, thank you.
All right. And now that brings us to the Wraith's turn. They each get 1 attack, and they don't hit as easily. The Spectre's turn. They don't hit as hard or as easily as the Wraith does. But we're going to have one of them is going to go towards Joff. One of them is going to go towards Bortimus. One of them is going to go towards Ebby. And one of them is going to go towards Pine. So you each get an attack coming at you. And we will see who gets hit. So we'll start with Joff. Joff, does an 8 hit you?
An 8 does not hit me.
Okay. Bortimus, does a 12 hit you? No. Bortimus has a shield and he's wearing chainmail, just so you guys are aware. Ebby, does a 23 hit you?
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Okay. And you are going to take 13 necrotic damage.
Of course.
And then make a constitution save.
Absolutely.
Difficulty 10.
Ooh, finally. A good constitution save. I rolled a 23.
Okay. Yeah, so you take the damage, but it does not take away from your maximum hit points.
Okay. Hallelujah.
And last but not least, we have Pine.
Man, this half plate is full of crap.
Pine, I'm guessing that a 5 does not hit you.
Nope.
Okay. And we are back up to the top. We have the Wraith's turn. And then he kind of hisses out again. He says,
Why are you leaving so soon?
and then he is going to go either for Bortimus or Nari. Let's see. He is going for Nari. Nari, how about a 19? Oh my gosh.
That hits.
Okay. Well, the good news is you're immune to the life drain effect, but you still take the damage. All right. And you take 22 damage.
All right, I'm down.
Oh, no.
Shoot. Okay.
Thank goodness you were immune to that because
Although it could have been an insta-kill, maybe.
could have been an insta-kill. Because I gave you immunity to the life drain, that effect is not going to take place. You will be making death saves as normal.
Man, my nat 20s are really coming in clutch.
Everybody else will need to be aware of the life drain technique. Okay, Joff, it's your turn. You've got a little specter right in front of you.
Joff is going to step away from the specter. No. I'm going to stay. I'm just going to dance around it, so I'm still engaged with him. I'm going to take a healing potion, and I'm going to bend over and kind of, with my foot, kind of open up Nari's mouth and pour it in.
Okay.
And then take a strike at the specter.
The big guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nari, you got 7 hit points right there.
Feeling great.
Yeah, I bet. So then I struck at the specter for a 17 to hit.
That hits.
And I did 11 piercing damage. And then...
oh my gosh, you Yahtzeed your sneak attack damage.
Yeah,
dude.
you did.
is that all 6s?
It's all 6s.
Okay, so then I got an 18 on precision for a total of 29 damage there.
Oh my goodness. If my math is correct. Okay, let me do the math. 29 plus 20. What's 29 plus 27? Is that 56?
Yeah, 56.
Okay, that was a huge hit. This guy, this Wraith that has just knocked Nari down, and then he kind of looks confused because Nari is not reacting like he would expect, and then you just come in and you just hit him really, really hard. All right, Pine, it's your turn. There is a specter in front of you. This lesser ghostly apparition in front of you, kind of, blocking the hallway to the south. As he chased after you, he kind of is blocking that hallway.
Okay. Pine will say, "Damn it, Field Marshal, sir, I ask your aid." And he's going to toss out Koenig's S-Talk toward the Wraith.
Okay.
With an 18 to hit.
Towards the big bad dude, huh?
Or the big bad dude. Yep. He wants to get out of here, but he figures taking out the big bad guy will hopefully help clear a better path to escape.
Well, let's roll some damage for Koenig's S-Talk.
That would be 9 force damage.
Oh man, that is this dude is hurting real bad. He is. You can see he's becoming even less corporeal. He's starting to wisp. It's like he's losing fog as he keeps getting hit, and his body seems to be kind of shrinking in stature. All right.
So then after casting out Koenig's S-Talk, I'll look at the specter in front of me, and I'll say,
"Be gone. Our fight's not with you."
And then I will attack once with my saber for 25 to hit.
That hits.
With 7 piercing damage. And that is magical.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it. You feel it gain purchase.
Yeah. And then my next attack will be an 18 to hit.
That hits.
For 10 additional piercing damage.
Yeah, this guy is already starting to bleed off mist and energy. Okay. Nari, your eyes flutter open. You see this Wraith, this kind of what was once big and mean and nasty, now has kind of shrunken in size. He seems more see-through. You can actually see Koenig's S-Talk floating behind it. And you are on the ground. What are you going to do?
I'm going to stand up, and honestly, I'm just going to disengage and follow Pine and Ebby.
Okay.
So I'll come up here and I'll go. I guess I can probably go to about there.
I think you get a little bit further. You can probably get all the way over to here.
All the way over.
There you go. So you are now kind of over by Pine. You can see that there's there's this specter in front of you, and then there's another one that's kind of harassing Ebby. All right, that brings us now to Bortimus. Bortimus has a specter next to him and a wraith. He is going to take 2 attacks. His first attack, because he sees that this big bad wraith is hurting a lot. He's going to take an attack against the wraith first. And with a 23, that hits, and he is going to deal a whopping 5 damage, halved to 2 damage, which is enough.
That's awesome.
Oh, good boy.
The wraith disperses. The wraith kind of his sword strikes through it. It just gains just that last little edge of whatever kind of consciousness and flesh or whatever corporeal part of this wraith still existed, and it just disperses to the 4 winds. Okay, his second attack, he's going to turn and attack this lesser specter that is next to him with a 14, and that also hits. And then he is going to deal that guy 10 damage. Good job, Bortimus.
Is he staying where he's at, or is he going to start moving toward us as well?
He'll start. That's a good point. He'll move around the specter, but he's not going to leave its kind of threat range. So he's just kind of getting closer to you guys. All right, Ebby, you're up.
Okay, Ebby will kind of throw his cloak to the side and stick one of his legs forward and stomp it to the ground and say, "Always, I want to be with you." And the magical unicorn.
Oh my gosh.
The magical unicorn will come like neighing and will erupt out of his breastplate and like jump into the middle of the room and shake his glorious mane.
Oh yeah.
And then Ebby is also going to use a Erdos's touch on himself.
Okay.
So he's like rubbing himself while this is happening too.
So he's saying, "Always, I want to be with me."
He's talking to himself. Yeah.
He's doing the Austin Powers, rubbing his nipples.
All right. I healed myself for 9, and then everybody gets healed for an additional, I think it's 6.
Yeah, it's your level. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my level. Yeah.
Okay. So then my question would be: does the unicorn have any effect on undead in the area?
No, it's just that it gives advantage to detecting creatures that might be hidden.
Awesome. Okay. Good round, Ebby. We have now got the 4 specters are going to make their attacks against different targets. So, Joff, you're getting attacked first. How about a natural 20? Uh-oh.
I guess that'll hit.
Oh, no. All right. He is going to make his attack of 3d6 necrotic damage, doubled as a critical hit. That is going to be 16. And you got to make a Constitution save.
Okay. I got a 3 on my Constitution save.
Then your maximum hit points is now decreased by 16.
Oof.
Well, that wasn't very nice of you.
Bortimus is going to get attacked, but that is only going to be a 9 to hit. Let's see. Ebby, you're getting attacked again for oh my gosh, your poor half plate. I'm so sorry. He rolled a natural 18, which is a 22 to hit.
If you could quit rolling like 17s, 18s, and 19s, that would be appreciated. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Oh, that's 14 damage.
Oh, gosh.
Oh my goodness. All right. And this is the easy fight. You guys ran away from the harder fight. And Nari, the last specter, is going to attack you instead of Pine because you're both kind of in its threat range. And he gets a 7. That's a miss. Okay.
Nice.
All right. That brings us now to Joff.
All right. Joff is going to disengage and run across the room and stand next to Mr. Pine and Nari. As he's running through the specter, he's kind of just like slashing at it to get through to his friends.
Okay, perfect. Make an attack.
Nat 20!
Oh my goodness. And this specter that you ran through is definitely being threatened by some of your allies. So that's a critical, that's a sneak attack.
I did 37 damage.
Okay, you killed him in one hit. You ran by and you just slash him with your short sword Kira, and it just disperses, like you just slice it in two, and this specter is no more.
Can I just say that from Ebby's perspective, Joff was moving in slow-mo in like a trail of glorious light with his hair flowing in the wind.
Oh yeah,
Ebby looking googly-eyed at him as he...
Would you say he looked like a king?
Oh, yeah. He was very kingly.
Oh, golly. That's a very good point. All right.
Man. You know,
Okay.
these could have been subjects of my ancestors.
These could have been your ancestors.
Well, you've certainly subjugated these.
Ooh. All right. And that brings us now to Pine.
So first, I'll go ahead and do my Kenex's talk. It's still next to one of the specters, the specter over there by Sir Bortimus. So I will do Kenex's talk attack. A 19 to hit
That hits.
for 11 force damage on this specter.
Oh, man. And this specter looks like it's barely hanging on. Like its body is pretty much withered away and is gone. And there's like just one arm left trying to claw at Sir Bortimus.
Okay. And then Pine himself will, again, looking at the specter that did not move, he'll say,
Can't you see you've lost this fight?
and then I will attack with my saber.
Okay.
First attack is I think I already used my ability to add a 10, so that's just a 9.
That is a miss.
My second attack will be a 10.
And that is also a miss. Nari, it is your turn. You have this specter right in front of you. You know that there's two more behind you that are kind of harassing Bortimus, and they'll probably start harassing you soon as well. But there's one right in front of you that Pine just missed twice.
Yeah, I'm going to go for that one that's in front of us, blocking our way, and I'm going to swing with a nat 20 on my great axe.
Awesome.
That's so great.
So I rolled a 16 damage, so that's what, 32?
Yeah, so I'm looking here. You rolled a 12 for your damage plus 4, so that's 24 plus 4, which is actually going to be 28 damage, halved because it's not magical. So that's still 14 damage, and that is more than enough to delete this specter from existence.
Okay,
Deleted.
We should get a sound effect for our nat 20s.
cool. We should.
That's a great idea.
So I have a whole library of 8-bit sounds that we can pick from.
Yeah, remember I said that the coin get sounds great. Diddling. Coin get. All right, so Nara, you have one more attack if you want to take it, and you also have a move.
Yeah, I will run back to what is the red guy's name?
Bortimus.
Bortimus.
The coolest name ever.
It is actually a good name. Bortimus, I will run back and I will help him out with this specter here. So that's a 15 to hit.
All right, that's a hit. This is the one that's just basically just a hand left.
Cool. So I got an 8 to
Okay.
damage.
Yeah, awesome. And that's 4 damage, but that's more than enough. He only had 1 hit point left. And now there is another specter that just kind of disappears. All right. And that brings us now to Bortimus. There is 1 specter left in this room. And Sir Bortimus, gathering courage from what you guys have done and seeing your strength, as well as this incredibly sexy, majestic unicorn, he is going to rush forward and attack the last Wraith, the one that is still as of yet untouched.
Stick with the plan, damn it!
He is going to get a 19 and a 10. So he hits 1 time, and he is going to deal 11 damage halved to 5. And that brings us now to Ebby.
Ebby is still staring at Joff, reaches out and touches him and says, "You saved me." And I'm going to do Erdos's touch on Joff.
I don't need it.
No, I thought you...
I'm only missing 1 hit point because my max is like 16 less.
Oh, well then I'm touching myself while I'm also touching you.
That's so disturbing. Joff, you're so powerful.
It's like, so you go, you saved me, reach out your hand to Joff, and then quickly turn back and start touching yourself.
Oh my gosh. Now, you said last time that this was more like, okay, never mind. We didn't go there. All right.
It's a very confusing time for Ebby, that's all. He will heal himself for the 5 from Erdos's touch, and then everybody will get the additional 6 from the unicorn.
Fantastic. All right.
And I will have that be my turn.
Okay. All right. That brings us now to Joff.
Did you skip the Spectre?
As a matter of fact, I did skip the Spectre. Thank you for being honest. The Spectre is going to lash out at Sir Bortimus. And he is going to do 10, and that is a miss. And the Spectre is going to start wandering its way closer to you guys, not leaving the threat range of Sir Bortimus, but still is going to move a little closer to you guys as it kind of hisses and screeches in your direction. The Wraith could actually speak. These Spectres don't appear to have enough like willpower or fortitude to actually be able to make noise. But they are coming at you, and you hear this kind of wheezing screech coming at you.
So Joff will hold his hand out and say, Squire, I need that disc thing, and throw the ancestral chakram. For a 16 to hit.
He does not appear this time. It's just in your hand. Okay, a 16 will hit.
For 6 damage.
Okay.
And then it'll reappear in my hand, and I'll throw it again, this time for 24 to hit.
Okay.
For another 6 damage.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you throw it with your right hand, and then all of a sudden it's in your left hand. You throw it with your left hand as your offhand attack. Fantastic. Awesome. Did you want to stay put? Or do you want to move?
I'll stay put for now.
Okay. All right, and Mr. Pine.
Okay. Pine will say,
Well, I guess he's not taking the hint either.
and he will move around his allies up next to this Wraith, and then also bring his S-Talk up to attack it as well. So we'll start with Koenig's S-Talk.
Okay.
That's an 18 to hit.
That hits.
For 10 force damage.
This guy is gone.
Okay.
Cue victory music.
Yay!
Ski ba boop ba doop boop.
I love that victory music. It's so great. I gotta be honest though, when I re-listen to the episodes and then the victory music actually kicks in, it surprises me every time.
That's awesome. So Joff is real quick going to walk over to the skeleton where the Wraith came out of and just look and see if there's anything of note on that dead body.
So the dead body, it looks like it actually was wearing sort of normal clothes, as in like cloth, not like armor or anything like that. And you can make an investigation check if you'd like to.
Got a 19 for investigation.
Okay, so as you're looking through, you can see that these clothes were at one point nice, but they are not obviously in any kind of condition that anybody would want them. But you do find that the clothes have like the buttons on them are gold, and they are solid gold buttons. So this person was somebody who was probably very influential or wealthy, or maybe even royal. You figure that those buttons, if you were to sell them, you could probably get easily 20 gold for those 6 buttons.
Okay. Joff will pocket the buttons and look around at everybody else.
Pine will head over to Nari and say,
Nari, that was a huge hit you took. Are you feeling okay?
and I'm going to give you 15 points of commander's morale. That's 15 points of healing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That helps a lot.
So just to confirm with everyone, we're trying to run and avoid combat as much as possible, correct?
Yes.
That was the plan. So let's continue moving.
Yeah, and as soon as we can, I say we get back up to street level.
Agreed.
Can we hear anything happening like above us? Like Ebby's spiders and the people above? Can we hear anything?
Like back the way you came? Why don't you make a perception check? With disadvantage just because of distance.
11.
You can't hear anything. You can hear just like a little drip, drip, drip coming from somewhere. You can hear just kind of, you can almost feel a little bit of wind coming from somewhere as well. It seems like the wind might be coming from this hallway that's over on the eastern wall, but really you can't hear anything.
Well, honestly, do we need to continue further? Could we try to hide here, maybe in like the corners by the sarcophaguses, and see if we're pursued?
I'm having a flashback of Nari hiding by dropping down into the grass with her butt in the air.
That did not work well last time.
Yeah.
I believe there was another time where you hid and you just hid under a desk, but you were so big that the desk actually rose up off the ground.
Yeah, but it worked.
The deacons did walk right past you. That's true.
I say we get onto the street level as quickly as we can.
I think that's a wise idea.
Abby, can you still feel those spiders? Are they still holding the fort up there? Are they still around?
Let me check and see.
Is that a concentration spell?
It was a concentration spell, and I took quite a bit of damage. So,
Well, why don't you let's have you make 2 concentration checks just to see.
Okay. Alrighty.
And we'll say, yeah, we'll figure it out.
So
Okay.
first one was 18, and
So that's fine.
next roll is a 12.
We'll say that they're still going. They are still up there. I don't know what kind of a link you have to them, but you can tell that there are fewer than when you first created them.
Got it. They're holding the fort, although they appear to be in combat because it feels fainter. It feels like they're dropping.
Bortimus says, well, if that's the case, then we'd best be moving.
Agreed. Let's move quickly.
Pine will take point again.
If you lose connection to them, do you have the ability to summon more and leave more in their way?
I do, in fact. I've been burning through some of my magical reserves, and some of my lesser spells are becoming a bit more taxed, but I've been reserving some pools of more extensive magical energy just for that purpose.
Okay.
Pine is going to actually he's going to enter his frigid retribution stance as well as he's taking point here, and he'll say,
The frozen blade spells disaster. Frigid retribution stance.
so I got 5 temp hit points.
All right. So what's your guys' marching order? Looks like Pine was in the front, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Bortimus says he'll bring up the rear.
I'll go after Pine. Ebby will go after Pine.
Okay.
I'll follow pretty close too, since I can't see.
And Joff will be right after Nari.
And the red candle will be up in the front with Pine, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Basically, I'm just kind of bringing it in front of me, and anytime we get into combat, it just drops it.
Got it. You guys move down this hallway. So this hallway, it's on the western wall, but it immediately turns to the south. And as you guys go down this hallway, it opens up after about 25, 30 feet into this another large open chamber with more sarcophagi in it. This one looks very old. Why don't you guys make some perception checks?
That's a 14 for Pine.
Nari got a 12.
Ebby got a 10.
Joff got a 20.
Okay. So it looks like, Pine, you can tell with your 14, it looks like there's actually, as you enter this room, there are multiple sarcophagi around. There is actually some columns in the middle of the room that kind of break up your vision, your line of sight. But you can detect that you and Joff both can detect that there are like roots that have broken into this room from through the walls. So like these large tree roots. And as you guys are looking around the room a little bit, you see that the hallway that you came down, basically just about 10 feet to the east, there's another hallway that goes back up to the north. And this one is full of roots and things, and not blocking the pathway, but definitely roots have been coming through these walls. And it seems like you're somewhere where there's a lot of vegetation. You're underneath somewhere where there's a lot of vegetation, which would make sense to Ebby, considering that he was fairly certain you guys were heading in the direction of Everly, of the Everly Park.
Okay, Pine is going to use the skill that he forgot he had, his trained senses, again,
Okay.
trying to detect any undead within 60 feet that are not behind total cover.
Okay. And you don't have to make a roll for that. That just happens, right?
Yep, 4 times per long rest.
In this room, you do not detect any undead. You do detect a faint scent of restlessness, but not any active undead at this point, if that makes any sense.
Okay, Pine will say,
I think we're safe from any of the undead here, but go ahead and kick some of the sarcophagus, see if you can wake something up as we pass.
that was not a joke. I mean,
Bortimus goes, are you serious?
Joff will walk forward to the one that was directly in front of him
Okay.
and try and open the lid.
Okay. Bortimus starts kicking on another one over kind of off to the west.
Quickly, and then we should be on our way.
Am I able to push the lid off?
Make a strength check.
19. That was a nat 20. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. It was.
Yeah, it was. -1.
Yeah, -1.
Awesome. You managed to pull this lid off, and with a loud thunk, it comes crashing down to the ground because you can slide it off, but you have no way of lowering it down slowly, right? But you look inside and you see that there is like these desiccated remains in there in like a reposed position with arms across its chest. It looks like this figure was wearing some kind of armor. It looks kind of ornate. There's a sword across the chest of this figure. Bordemus is just kicking one over there, and you guys are trying to wake up some undead, huh? It looks like, just so you guys are aware, this room, it looks like there's one way out of this room, at least at your first glance, and it is the hallway that kind of heads back up to the north. That's kind of clogged with roots a little bit.
Does the armor and weapon in this chest appear to be like rusted and like worn?
The armor does, but the sword does not. It looks like it's very finely made. The scabbard has kind of rotted away, but the sword itself still looks relatively clean.
Okay. Joff will grab the sword and put it on his, on his back, and then run out the room with everyone else.
Are you asking to get cursed?
You told me to wake something up.
Pine, after kicking one or two of the sarcophagi, Pine will just head toward that hall with all the roots in it.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a luck check, okay? So, Pine, you said you kicked 2 sarcophagi. So I need you to make 2 D20 rolls. On a 20, you're going to wake something up. Roos, you need to make 1. And I want you to make it with advantage because you actually stole something from the sarcophagus. And Bordemus is going to make just 1 regular.
So Pine rolled a 10 and a 6, so nobody woke up.
Yep, and Bordemus rolled a 4, so no. And Joff, what'd you roll?
Joff rolled a 15 and an 8.
Nope, so nothing wakes up.
Just a vague sense of guilt from stealing from the dead.
That'll pass.
During all of this, Ebby had also headed to the eastern side of the room and was kicking the sarcophagi in the bottom right-hand corner.
Oh, I thought you were saying you were kicking the sarcophagi in the bottom, like kicking its butt.
Hi-yo. Take that.
Okay, we'll make a luck check.
And Ebby rolled a 5 and a 10.
Okay, is Nari kicking sarcophagi, or is she the only smart one in the group?
Nari is not kicking sarcophagi. Like, no, that's a bad plan, guys.
Can Ebby also try to remove the sarcophagi lids from a couple of these and see if there's anything lootable inside?
Okay, yeah, so at this point, you guys have been in this room for about a minute. So if you're going to start pulling lids, then we're going to start adding on time. Okay, I'm going to start making some rolls if that's what you want to do. So go ahead, make a strength check, Ebby.
Okie dokie. And Ebby rolled a 12.
Not enough. This one actually seems to be, maybe it's not cemented together, but it seems sealed somehow, and you just can't quite get a purchase enough to start sliding it off.
I guess, should we be on our way then?
Yeah, the sooner the better.
Yes, we should be on our way.
I have one last trick up my sleeve that I think I'm going to do as we leave this room.
Okay.
All right. Well, follow me.
Okay. Pines leads the way, followed by, I can't remember what the order was.
You can do Nari. I'll take the rear in this case so I can cast the spell.
Okay. We'll go Nari, and then Joff, and then Bordemus, and then Ebby will bring up the rear.
And once we are kind of deep in this hallway, Ebby is going to cast, with one of his level 3 spell slots, one of his few remaining spell slots, Plant Growth.
Yes!
It's not a concentration spell, but when you cast with one action, can choose a point within range, and all plants within a 100-foot radius centered on that point become thick and overgrown, and a creature moving through the area must spend 4 feet of movement for every 1 foot it moves. The idea here is that I wanted to try to see if I could get the roots and everything to start really getting overgrown and make it so that way this room is virtually impassable. I mean, I know they'll be able to kind of crawl through everything, but that's kind of the hope.
Awesome. That's a great idea. So this room, as you are watching these plants grow, now, can you pick and choose which plants? Or you're gonna put it far enough away so that the plants, the roots and stuff that are in front of you are not going to grow as well? Because this hall is kind of clogged up with it too.
It says you can exclude one or more areas of any size within the spell's area from being affected.
Okay. So you kind of move down the hall a little bit. I'm imagining you'd want to close off this way a little bit as well. So some of the roots that go that kind of clog this hallway, they kind of close off the entrance. You can still tell that there's an entrance here, but it is definitely more obscured, and it will more than likely look less like somebody actually went through this hallway. Some of these big roots in that big main area, they also grow and they fill up the space. How long does this last, or is this indefinite?
It's indefinite, actually.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. All right, so you guys have moved the red candle down this hallway a little bit to allow you guys to see where you're going. This hallway goes, it heads north for about 20 feet, and then it turns east, and it goes around a corner, and then at this hallway that heads east only goes another 30 feet or so, and then at the end of that hallway, Pine, as you're leading the way, you can see it turns north, and there is a grate, a portcullis that blocks off a small 4x4 room. And with your vision, you can see through the bars. You can see stairs that lead up.
So, seeing the grate, Pine will say,
Oh, great. Nari, I need your help.
Oh, it's so terrible, and I love it so much.
Excuse the pun. I need your help. I need your strength.
Nari will sigh.
Bortimus, maybe you too. You look like you have some muscle on you.
Says, of course. And he will follow up behind Nari up to this grating. So we have actually, as you approach this portcullis and you take a closer look at it, you see that, yes, it is old. It is rusted. It's not so much a portcullis as an iron gate. So it's not that you can lift it up into the ceiling like a portcullis, but you can actually open the gate, but it is locked. It does look like it's pretty substantial, but you can try to break it.
sorry, I thought it was a portcullis. If otherwise, I would have said,
Hey, Joff, hurry, we need Gigi.
There you go. Yeah, there is a lock on it.
So I'll make my way up and I'll grab Gigi out of my pocket and say, "All right, girl, I need you to do your magic on this lock here."
Okay, why don't you make a check?
Gigi got a 20 on her check.
Fantastic. Yeah, Gigi kind of flutters over everyone's shoulder and lands on the gate, kind of looks into the lock, sticks her tail in there, starts wiggling it around. Flakes of rust start falling off this lock. And within no time, you hear this click and the gate swings open and you are in a small room with a staircase leading up.
Joff will give Gigi a little treat and say, "Atta girl."
All right. So there's now a staircase up. As you guys all enter this room, the door is, you can close the door and lock it again if you would like to do that. Otherwise, there's a staircase that leads up and out of this area.
yeah, I think we want to lock that gate again.
Should we send someone up to proceed with caution first, make sure that it's clear?
I can go look real quick.
That sounds like a capital idea.
All right. So, Joff, you are going to start proceeding up the stairs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Make a stealth check and a perception check.
So Joff rolled a nat 20 on his stealth and then an 11 on his perception.
Okay, as you guys say, okay, Joff, why don't you go check it out? Wait, what? Oh, where did you go? You guys, he's literally already gone. And you guys have no idea that he even snuck out of the room. Joff, you start heading up these stairs. The hallway, the stairway is full of vines and roots that are breaking through this kind of stone stairwell. And as you climb, you start to get the faint smell of earth and of trees and vegetation. And as you get to the top of the stairs, we're going to stop there for tonight. Thanks for playing with me, guys. You guys got to explore a little bit of the Undercity of Arcolvi. I will tell you right now that there are at least 2 secrets that you guys totally missed, which is okay. You guys were running for your lives, but this was a lot of fun, very dangerous too. So anyway, if you like what you're hearing, go ahead, support us, leave a review, give us a rating, go check out our Patreon. And other than that, we hope you guys have a great time.